Hello and welcome to DC Velocity's Thought Leader series, produced in conjunction with MHI. My name is Mark Solomon. I'm senior editor at DC Velocity magazine, and we are pleased to be joined today by Mike Robinson. Mike is director of national accounts at Big Ass Solutions, which is a division of Big Ass Fans.
Well, we added the solutions piece because we have Big Ass Light, Big Ass Fans.
Okay.
We have controls and other things, but we're moving more back to the name of Big Ass Fans.
Okay, well, during Mike's career, his leadership roles have ranged from environmental and safety to human resources and organizational development. He's been with Big Ass Solutions, or Big Ass Fans, for a year and a half. He is a key part of Big Ass's employee recruitment strategy, and basically his job is a tall order. He's got to make sure that the company has enough qualified people to sustain what has been very rapid 30% growth. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Question, is there a talent imbalance out there? Are there too many jobs for too few qualified people in general?
We hear that a lot. We haven't had a problem hiring talented people. We've been successful to be able to keep up with our pace of that growth of 30 to 40% per year, but it's something that we hear on a regular basis.
Okay. Big Ass has done a very stellar job at building a brand through marketing, through advertising, and through the quality of the product and the process. Do you think that your unique situation has sort of immunized you from the issue of not finding enough qualified people?
Yes, I think so. I mean, because it's one of the things that we look at is if you have a culture and a name and people want to work there and they know about you, then you're going to have more talented people looking at your organization because they're interested and they want to come work for you. So we're not trying to lure anybody over, they're actively seeking us out.
Do you think the advertising and marketing campaign, which is unique in the material handling space, it's generally not done, has been a key factor in your ability to raise awareness and attract people?
Yes, 100%. You know, when you have a name like Big Ass Fans, you know, people take notice. And when you see the fan, that's the first thing that is in your mind. Even if you don't say it out loud, you're going to think it. And so, you know, we're appropriately named. We were actually named by our customers. Our original name was the High Volume Low Speed Fan Company. Not very glamorous. And our first successes were with dairy cattle. And so what happened is we did a study out with the University of California, and what they found was that cows would stay in a milking station longer with elevated air speeds. They would also stay in the feeding station longer, so they would generate higher yields for the same dollar amounts. So our first big success, we targeted dairy farmers. We started selling a lot of fans. And so when they called in, what do you think they asked for? Y'all the ones that sell the Big Ass Fan? You know, I want me a Big Ass Fan. So after hearing it about 1,000 times, our owner, Kerry Smith, changed the name to Big Ass Fans. So our customers named us.
That's one of the more interesting stories I've heard of sometimes. If you were to stand in front of a group of your peers, what would you tell them? I mean, they don't have the name you do, they don't have the cachet that you have. What would you tell them to do? What advice would you give them to balance out the supply and demand scales for their own organizations?
Well, we look at it as a three-legged principle, right? Just like a stool. So, pardon the pun since we talked about dairy cattle, but a milking stool. So if you look at that, those three legs, one being culture. So if you have a culture where people want to be a part of it and you hire talented people in the first place, talented people find other talented people. So they'll recommend others that are similar to them. If you have a good process, then you can move them through the system to make sure that you efficiently evaluate people appropriately. And then the third piece is you have to engage them so you don't get caught in the cycle where you're always refilling employees because you're turning them over. So you can't just do one thing. You can't just get a fancy name and have everybody come over. It's culture, and then you have to have the process to get the talent, and then engage the workforce.
So a name and advertising only takes you so far.
So far. It'll get you to the door, but that won't do anything after that.
Okay. How much of your overall business is in the material handling sector, the warehouse, the distribution center?
We're about 70% industrial, and out of that, I would say probably 40% is inside the distribution space.
Okay. Do you think the companies in the distribution space have an image issue that makes it difficult for them to compete against other more perceived to be glamorous industries in recruiting and keeping good talent?
Yes, I think there's a PR issue that needs to be addressed associated with that. If you look at distribution in general, it's only going to grow. It will continue to go no matter what the economy does, because we always have to move things from place to place. So with that, it's a very stable environment. It should be sold that way, that there's a lot of companies that come and go, but transportation is always going to be there. So I would recommend that they improve their PR image associated with that.
Okay. Mike, thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.